Hi there, it's me, Annalisa Boyd, Orthodox Christian wife, mom to 10, bread baker, candy maker, self-proclaimed doula, accidental midwife, and the author of The Ascetic Lives of Mothers, Hear Me, and Special Agents of Christ. It's been a long time, and I'm really working hard to try to make multiple videos so I can keep posting. But life is life, as all of you know. There's nobody who's watching this who isn't like, what do you mean I have all the time in the world? Even if you don't have children, you don't have all the time in the world. But I wanted to talk a bit about um, falling down and getting up. Something that's been super key, that's been talked about a lot with our priest, is he'll ask, how many times, when you fall, how many times do you have to get up? Just one more time, then you fall. So if you fall 7 times, you get up that 8th time. If you fall 100 times, you get up that 101st time. And it's just standing back up. And I shouldn't say just, because sometimes it's standing back up with a bunch of bricks on your back. It's standing back up with the weight of so many things on our backs. It's standing back up with, broken bones or missing limbs, it feels like. It's standing back up when it feels like there's just nothing left. There's no strength. There's no energy. I kind of think of like boneless, being boneless, when your kids go boneless, when you're trying to get them to do something. But it's like sometimes it just feels like there's nothing in there to assist with the standing. And it can be so overwhelming and so discouraging. But God can help us with that one more time. And that's why we say the Jesus Prayer so often. There was a oratorical festival, and one of our young people from our church got to go as a representative for our diocese, for the whole diocese, and she, out of the whole archdiocese in the United States, she won 2nd place. And the topic had to do with repetition. Repetition. Like, why is repetition beneficial? And she was coming from a very interesting place. She is on the spectrum. She's on she has autism. And so she was talking about some of the things that she does called stimming to help her calm down. And for her specifically, with how her brain works, the repetition of the Jesus Prayer and the repetition of the church year and the repetition of the liturgy every week and the daily prayers and all these things were so helpful for her because repetition is calming. But she also pointed out repetition is amazing for those times that you don't have access to your Bible or to your prayer book or to church for some reason. Having the ability to access what is in our hearts and minds from that repetition can be exactly what we need to help us to be able to stand up again. When the saints, especially those who were martyred, and she brought this up in her speech too. I'll see if there's a copy somewhere I can link to, because she did a phenomenal job. But when the saints of old, were preparing to be martyred, they were able to access that. They were able to, even though they were ultimately killed, they were able to stand up that final time through the grace and mercy of God. But with that in their hearts and minds because of going over it over and over again. And so as mothers, we have an opportunity, and again, even if it's just the Jesus Prayer, to practice saying the Jesus Prayer, praying the Jesus Prayer, praying the Our Father, praying Psalm 50 at 50, praying the morning, midday, and evening prayers, and committing those to memory, so that in those hard moments when we fall, and we will fall, we have something to help bring us back up when we feel weak and disconnected and insignificant. Because I think often we can feel insignificant, especially when or like we've totally blown it, especially when we've lost it at our children, when they've done something that we can look at it separately and go, okay, that was really not a big deal, but it felt so big because of everything else that's been going on, and we respond badly sometimes. But instead of staying down, God gives us the tools to be able to stand back up, and that is Him helping us, giving us lifelines. So anyway, I just wanted to share that because, especially with our kids being home from school, a lot of us have kids home from school, and the first day is like amazing, and maybe the second and third day, and then they're like, what are we going to do? We're bored. And sometimes it can be difficult, and we can get into a rut of of what to do and how to not be resentful towards them for wanting us to be the program director of their lives. Anyway, but yeah, God helps us. He gives us the tools, but that repetition is really essential for us to be able to stand back up that next time. So anyway, just a little shorty. God bless, and let's keep working out our salvation one mama moment at a time. Thanks.